How did the Anglo-Saxons conquer England? The battles, the betrayals, and war that changed history. Imagine this. One day, you're a proud Roman citizen, strolling through the grand streets of Londinium, admiring the towering stone villas and bustling markets. The next, you're watching your home burn as wild-eyed Saxon warriors storm through the gates, axes raised high. How did Britain fall from the glory of Rome to the chaos of the Dark Ages? Why did a desperate British king invite the very wolves that would devour his land? And what truly happened on that bloody night when the Saxons turned from allies to conquerors? This is a tale of ambition, treachery, and war. A story where kings gamble with fate, warriors fight for survival, and an empire's last light flickers out. From the fateful deal of Vortigern to the massacre of the Night of the Long Knives, from the fires of the Saxon invasion to the last stand at Mount Badon, we unravel the battles, betrayals, and warrior kings who reshaped Britain forever. But the real question is, was this conquest inevitable, or was Britain's fate sealed the moment Rome turned its back? Stick with us to the end, because history is never just about the past. It's about the choices that changed the world. And before we begin, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and join us as we bring history to life, one battle at a time. The year was 410 AD, and the once mighty province of Britannia was in turmoil. Emperor Honorius, seated in the grand halls of Ravenna, received a desperate plea from the Romano-British leaders. "Save us, the barbarians are at the gates." But Honorius, with the Visigoths breathing down his neck in Italy, simply shrugged and sent a chilling reply: "Defend yourselves as best you can." And just like that, Rome had abandoned Britain. The legions were gone. The once mighty walls of Londinium stood crumbling, and across the misty moors chaos reigned. Picts stormed Hadrian's Wall from the north. Irish raiders pillaged the western coasts, and to the east, across the cold grey sea, the real danger was waiting: the Saxons. As Britain collapsed, one man rose to power: Vortigern, an ambitious but desperate noble. Looking at the burning towns and failing defenses, he made a decision that would change history. He sent word across the North Sea, summoning Hengist and Horsa, Saxon warlords of fearsome reputation. "Come, fight for Britain, and you shall have land and wealth beyond measure." In 425 AD, the longships arrived. The Saxons, clad in chainmail and wolf furs, stepped onto British soil, their axes gleaming in the morning light. At first, they kept their bargain. They crushed the Picts in bloody battles, sending them fleeing back into the highlands. Vortigern was pleased, but then, like wolves that had tasted blood, the Saxons wanted more. Vortigern's alliance with the Saxons was a ticking time bomb. Soon his own nobles began whispering, "We cannot trust these pagans. They are not our kin." Vortigern ignored them until it was too late. At a feast in 450 AD, meant to cement peace between the Saxons and the Britons, the treachery was unleashed. As the wine flowed, Hengist gave a quiet nod to his warriors, and in an instant, the Britons were butchered where they sat. Knives flashed, throats were slit, and the halls ran red with noble blood. This massacre became known as the Night of the Long Knives. Vortigern, spared but disgraced, was forced to flee. His fate was sealed. He would die alone in a ruined fortress, cursing his own folly. And the Saxons? They were now the undisputed masters of eastern Britain. With Britain weakened, the Saxons spread like wildfire. In 455 AD, King El of the South Saxons stormed the old Roman town of Anderidum, Pevensey, burning it to the ground. In 473 AD, Saxon warbands pushed further inland, slaughtering any Britons who resisted. By 490 AD, they controlled vast swathes of land, from Kent to the Midlands. The once proud Romano-British cities became smoldering ruins. The countryside was littered with abandoned villas, overgrown temples, and shattered statues of long-forgotten emperors. But all hope was not lost. If the Saxons thought they had already won, they had not met him yet. A new leader emerged from the west, a warrior of both Roman discipline and Celtic fury. Some called him Ambrosius Aurelianus, others whispered a different name: Arthur. At Mount Badon, c. 500 AD, the fate of Britain hung in the balance. The Saxons, led by Cerdic, surged forward, their shields locked in a mighty wall, but the Britons, led by Arthur, held the high ground. With a cry that shook the heavens, they charged. For Britain, for Rome. The battle was a storm of steel and blood. For 2 days, the Britons fought like lions. The Saxons fell in droves, their bodies carpeting the hillside. In the end, they broke. Arthur had won. For the first time in nearly a century, the Saxons were pushed back. But victory was fleeting. The Battle of Mount Badon bought Britain time, but time is a cruel master. By the mid-6th century, new Saxon kingdoms had risen. Wessex, under Cerdic descendants, spread through the south. Mercia, the land of warriors, emerged in the Midlands. Northumbria, the stronghold of the north, grew into a mighty power. The Britons, once proud heirs of Rome, fade into the hills of Wales and Cornwall. Their language, their culture, and their gods slowly disappeared. By 600 AD, England was Saxon land. And Rome? Rome was just a whisper in the wind. The conquest of England was not just a story of war. It was a lesson in fate, ambition, and betrayal. Vortigern's folly teaches us that inviting the wolf into the fold is never wise. The Britons' resistance reminds us that even in the darkest hour, courage can turn the tide. The Saxons' rise shows that power always finds its way to the strong. Yet though Rome fell, its spirit lived on. The Saxons, once seen as mere barbarians, would one day build a kingdom even greater than the one they destroyed. And so the echoes of Rome lived on, not in stone, but in legend. If you loved this epic saga of war, treachery, and glory, don't forget to follow us. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another gripping episode from history's greatest battles. This is European Battle, bringing history to life, one conquest at a time. Like, comment, and subscribe.